Welcome to ZOOMERTIMES TV. And here's your host, Anita Finley.
Hello, everybody. I'm Anita Finley again, and I'm always so happy to have the best guests. We choose them so carefully, and Dr. Jaffer is, I don't want to insult anyone else, but he's really our best guest. And Dr. Moshe Jaffer is the founder of the Senior Medical Associates, and you've heard him before, and we're very fortunate to have him. He can talk on any subject. And so I chose the subject today because we talked about vaccinations before. And of course, he feels like I do, and Dan, that people really should do it. Don't wait till you get to the hospital and then say, can I have the shot? It's too late. Just do it now. I thought if we talked about immune systems, maybe we could talk about people who have had the vaccination, but they just want to pump their body up even better. So Dr. Jaffer, talk about our immune system, what it consists of, and what we can do, please.
Anita, you mentioned the vaccines. It is just suffice to say, to close the topic, that almost exclusively all the people who are falling ill and ending up in the hospital are people who are unvaccinated. So please don't make that mistake. If you are not, get vaccinated. To come back to immune system, what is immune system? You see, every day we get bacteria and viri and cancer cells in our body formed, but our immune system recognizes this as bad people, and they kill the bacteria or the virus and kills the cancer cells. Every day we make cancer cells. So this is our immune system. So in modern terms, you can look at it like the police force and the secret service that detects a threat and mobilizes the forces. You know, if you need a police force, if you need an army, bring an army, but kill the threat. And that's your immune system. So it's always alert, it's always watching. But it can go wrong, and then you get the immune diseases, like lupus and rheumatoid arthritis, and you got inflammatory bowel disease that can be very debilitating, where your own body becomes your enemy. You get psoriasis and all those bad things. But for the majority, for most of us, our immune system is our friend and takes care of us. But then it fails sometimes. Why does it fail? Because it became weak. So Anita, today I was just thinking, when you said let's talk about immune system, that I want to introduce your viewers to a new friend. Do you know how many cells we have in our body?
Millions?
3 trillion cells.
Trillions, okay.
A lot of zeros. 3 trillion, okay? 1 trillion is 1,000 billion.
Okay.
cells. But in this body of mine, I have 3 trillion cells, but I have 30 trillion bacteria. 10 times as much bacteria, and they are residing in my mouth up to my poopy hole, okay, my anus. And they are mainly in my intestines, and these people are living with us. These bacteria are alive, and they are feeding off the food we give in our intestine. Unfortunately, they can also be causes of inflammation. What is inflammation? It's a Latin word for fire. Fire, literally. So the fire in our body, heart attack, stroke, inflammatory diseases, ill health, fatigue, bad things happening in our body could be to a great extent because of our bacteria in our gut. We call this in a global term of our gastric biome. This body of bacteria, about 2,000 species, if you bring them, it's about 5 pounds of bacteria. So these bacteria are your friends for the most part. And they even can cause obesity, and they can cause a lot of problems that we are now beginning to learn. This idea of gastric biome and in researching it is a new phenomenon. It's only about a dozen years or so that we have become more aware, and now we are publicizing it and researching more in that respect. Before we were thinking they were just useless guys, feeding on our food, but we are realizing they are not useless. They are our friends. And they also put down the bad guys. They kill the bad bacteria that come in our gut, in our body. So some of this, because they are there, the virus and the protozoa, the parasites don't do well because of these bacteria also. So they are our guardians also in many ways. So how do they help the immune system? Because of their existence. And how do you help them? I want to tell you the best way to help your bacteria in your gut, which is the gastric biome, is to have a plant-based diet. Half your plate every time you eat should be of vegetables, fruits and vegetables. The fresher they are, the better. More organic if you can help it, less pesticides and less additives. Meats, especially the red meats, are not our friends. They encourage the bad guys, okay? So those are the guys who cause inflammation in our body. So reduce your red meats. Even if you have it, I love meat, but don't eat more than the size of a deck of cards, okay? Don't have a big steak, have a smaller steak, okay? But it's preferable to eat fish and chicken and turkey. They are better on our gut, and they cause less inflammation. So this is one aspect of inflammation and your immune system that we were not aware of. And most people are oblivious of the bacteria in their gut. So I hope this will be an introduction to your viewers to know that, look, I want to take care of my gut bacteria, so I must eat right. And if you eat more fruits and fiber, you have a better poopy. That's the biggest problem of your viewers. As you get older, your gut gets slower, and you want to make your gut go fast, eat more fruits and veggies, and it helps your immune system. So
so I have a question as you're talking. So there's the prebiotic and the probiotic. Are those helpful? I don't take those, but should I be?
You are right. There is prebiotic, probiotic, and postbiotic. But all this is a little complication, and you can make it simple and stupid. Fruits and veggies, fermented foods are good also. Kombucha or fermented, your pickles that grandma made is good. That vinegar is very good, okay? So fermented foods are very good also. And Mother Nature made you milk, and you can make yogurt. Yogurt with live bacteria are the best probiotic, okay? So just when you go to buy yogurt, try and buy organic and buy with live cultures, live bacteria in it. That's your best friend.
Well, so when you say live, I don't, when I buy my yogurt, I buy organic, but I don't know where it says live.
It says live cultures. It'll say on the side,
Okay.
It has got live bacteria in it. Those are the ones you want, okay? Because some yogurt come, but the bacteria have been killed. So you've lost the benefit of having this bacteria, which are great friends of yours, to come in and overcome the bad guys, and also to repopulate your gut. Also, another thing, the worst thing to do for your gut bacteria is to take antibiotics. So I would strongly advise you not to take antibiotics until it's absolutely necessary. I'll repeat that. Do not take antibiotics, because they willy-nilly kill a lot of your gastric bacteria, your bacteria in your gut, in your intestines. So only take an antibiotic because you just have to. You've got no other choice.
Okay.
And if you ever take an antibiotic, then you take yogurt, and you can take some probiotics to just repopulate your intestine.
Well, let me jump in here and then ask you. I want to go back to the beef. I don't eat beef very much, and when I do, I've been buying the bison because there's no much fat in it. And I just, every once in a while, maybe once a month, I will have that. But I think that the big problem isn't the big problem that they're it's too much fat in it, the beef?
You see, when you talk about bison, you talk about venison, natural. You see, animals in the wild are roaming around looking for fodder, and they get this grass they eat. So mainly
Right.
they're grass fed. Our cattle in the farms are fed grains, mainly corn, okay? And they get just fat on it, but
Right.
they're not getting the grass. You
Yeah.
see, beef that is grass fed is the best beef. And if you can get that, then this is what Mother Nature made. And the beef that has been grass fed is so much better than the beef that was made by just fed on corn in a farm. That's it. They were not roaming around, they were not moving, and they were just stationary, just eating, getting fat, and then slaughtered with a lot of fat in it. So
Terrible. Right.
so even if you take the whatever cut you take, try and take the least fatty cut.
Right. I have one more. I'm addicted to eggs, and I do get the eggs that are farm raised, that they're, but I have an egg a day. Is that a problem?
Eggs are good. I'm sorry that we malign the eggs for a long time, okay? Because one egg has got as much cholesterol you need for a whole day. But we have found out that that is not so bad after all. You can have it, it's natural cholesterol. What happens to us as Americans is that we manufacture cholesterol in our liver. If you go to the villages of Africa, China, India, Latin America, in the villages, there is no heart disease. You bring them to big cities or you bring them to America, within 10 years, their cholesterol is sky high. Why? Multiple factors. But heart disease and high cholesterol is the disease of the modern world. And it's multifactorial, but just remember that this cholesterol was manufactured in your liver. That's why today we have to take pills to tell your liver, oh, we have enough cholesterol, please don't make any more, okay? And then the liver shuts down and doesn't make more cholesterol. So your cholesterol level comes down and you don't clog your arteries. Because what is the bad thing about cholesterol is that it's necessary. It's part of so many of our hormones. Cholesterol is necessary, okay? But too much is bad, because then the body starts lining up your arteries with cholesterol, and then your artery gets narrow. And also it gets fragile. And then any break in that lining of the artery causes heart attacks and strokes.
That's good. That's good news. So I'm happy to hear that. But it is interesting that you talked about that eggs. But what about the people who are actually they don't eat meat, fish? They're just total vegetarians. Are you a vegetarian?
Some people are even more than vegetarian. They are vegans. So they don't completely away from all animal products. That means no milk, no yogurt, no
Eggs, right?
Yeah. These people are no eggs too, yeah. So these people are extreme. I don't think Mother Nature wanted us to be vegans. Mother Nature, from very beginning, we only learned how to farm 10,000 years ago. So we learned to cultivate grains and seeds, and also domesticate animals. So now we have easy supply of beef and lamb, and we have grains. But in the olden days, 10,000 years and or before that, and we've been around for a couple of 100,000 years, okay? We were hunters and gatherers. So we found seeds, we found berries, we found roots, we found worms, okay, and insects, and that's what we ate. Once in a while, your tribe killed an animal, and you had a feast for a day or two because you didn't have a refrigerator. That's it.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
So we were mainly vegetarian, but once in a while we ate meat, which is good because it gives a lot of things our body needs. The B vitamins, a lot of B12 vitamins, a lot of the protein that you get for your muscle and bone. So meat per se is not bad. It's the modern way meat is made, especially processed meat. Cured meats, please avoid cured meats. You know, your cured ham and salami and sausages and all that is all rubbish meat. Tasty, very tasty, but it's not of the best thing you take, because they also have other ingredients which cause cancer. These are carcinogenic ingredients, especially the nitrites in cured beefs, okay, and in the salamis and so on. But if you eat grass-fed animals, then you are so much better than eating the red meat that we get off the shelf.
You're absolutely right. Everything you're saying is so smart, and it's what at least I try to do, and I know that my friends do. But you know, and of course let's talk about sugar. I think that's very critical because everybody likes the chocolate chips. They like this and that. Talk about sugar.
You see, all our bread, pasta, rice, cookies, candies, sweets, all get converted to glucose, okay? Now, sugar is sucrose. It's a little more complex sugar. So your carbohydrates, your sugar that you put in your white sugar, brown sugar, all gets converted to glucose. Now, glucose is the unit of energy. All your muscles and your body, everybody needs glucose. You don't have enough glucose, you'll pass out, okay? So glucose is necessary. The problem is too much. So Mother Nature never had sugar. It was always complex. It was in the fruits. Even sugar cane, it's complex. It's full of all this fiber and things in it that even that you get, it's like jaggery or brown sugar, but we refine it. We clean out all the things and we just have pure white sugar. Now that is poison. It is, because as soon as you take it, it gets absorbed so fast and you have a big jump in your glucose level. Now that is not good. I'll give you an example. You take a sugary donut versus a whole wheat bagel, for example, okay? That bagel you'll eat it, its digestion will start, and slowly your body is releasing sugar, slowly. And that sugar is being used. But if you take the sugary donut, immediately you'll get a spike of sugar. And your body says, what do I do with this? My master only needs so much sugar. The rest goes to become fat. Okay? That's why all these sugars make you fat very, very fast. Because as soon as sugar is secreted, your body secretes insulin, which is the hormone that takes the sugar from your blood and puts it in the cells. But if the cell says, enough, we got enough, we don't need so much, then that sugar is transported and made into fat and stored. And you know where the fat gets stored, okay?
Okay, we're gonna come back with that because I want to talk about diabetes with the sugar, but I want everyone to know this brilliant physician who is so many things to us and especially to me is Dr. Mohsin Jaffer. He founded a great organization called Senior Medical Associates. Write this number down because you will want to go to them because everything you're hearing from Dr. Jaffer, his physicians know about it. They do this for their patients. They have a great organization. I have always been so impressed with them. Phone number is 954-659-9690. Please write that down again. 954-659-9690. And if you want to get on their website, it's seniormedicalassociates.net. I just wanted to do that. I hate because you're so good. I want everyone to say, who is that man? I wanted everyone to know. Okay, let's keep with the sugar and the diabetes where the sugar really is part of it, isn't it?
Diabetes, unfortunately, is the modern disease. There was no diabetes in the olden days because people didn't have sugar and whatever they ate, they used it up. You see? So they didn't have Winn-Dixie and Publix. They had to walk and search for food and they ate that food and they were hardworking. They were using their energy a lot. So whatever they ate was used up, and there was no reserve. They were lean, they had strong muscles, and they had no excess fat, and they didn't have diabetes. But now, the modern world, we have too much. And when you constantly challenge your pancreas is near the stomach, okay? It's a small organ, but that organ is very important. It senses how much sugar is there in your blood. If there is so much sugar, it secretes so much insulin to deal with that sugar. Now, if constantly you are challenging your pancreas and making it secrete more and more insulin, finally your producing cells give up and say, I'm tired, I'm not going to make any more. So your insulin goes down. So the disease of diabetes, it's multiple faceted. Either you don't have enough insulin secreted in your pancreas, or your pancreas secretes enough insulin, but the insulin cannot do the work, okay? Because you need receptors on the cells that open the door. So insulin is like a key, but you need to open the door, but you need a lock. So you can open the lock and open the door and put the sugar back into the cells from the blood, okay? So if there are not enough locks, which are called receptors, then you have to have so much more insulin looking for receptors. So you make too much insulin, okay? And then you have also the bad effects of that. Or you can have enough insulin, but your body doesn't do the work well, okay? So basically diabetes is a disease that can be two types. Either your pancreas fails completely and you don't have any insulin, and you become insulin dependent diabetic and type 1, and you need shots of insulin from outside, otherwise you die, okay? And the other is type 2 diabetes, which is so much more common, and that's the disease of America, of the rich countries, okay? Because now we eat so much, we slowly become diabetic. So your doctor will do a test, of A1C, of how much sugar was secreted, and it's a good indicator, and over the last 3 months. And if as it goes above 6.4, you're a diabetic. But between 5.7 and 6.4, you are pre-diabetic. If you can see that, and your doctor can press upon you to recognize that and start changing your diet, because diabetes is all about diet. What you put in your body, you become. So as soon as I know I'm pre-diabetic, I would cut down my white bread, white pasta, white rice, cookies, candies, sweets, chocolate, ice cream. I will eat whole grain foods. I will eat less of carbs. I will eat more veggies. And suddenly, I don't become a diabetic. I don't progress. I have stopped my progression to an overt diabetic. This is the beauty of going to your doctor, keeping a constant check on your blood work, so that you can recognize threats long before they become. So I feel the greatest contribution we can make today to your viewers is to tell them, be aware of your A1C. Know if you are a pre-diabetic. And if you're a pre-diabetic, what to do. And of course, if you become a diabetic, then there are medicines and so many things, and ultimately you end up on insulin. But if you can be careful, even if you are a full-blown diabetic, you can slow the progression of diabetes. Now, why diabetes is so bad? So what about high sugar? So what? No. I have diabetes. 10 years from now, my kidneys will start failing. I will block my arteries much faster than anybody else. Most diabetics die of heart attacks and strokes because I'm speeding up the clogging of my arteries, and bad things happen. Your brain doesn't function, your body doesn't function, your arteries get blocked. So horrible things happen. And then you get neuropathy where your nerves don't work. It's a complex of bad news. The sooner you address it, the sooner you deal with it and become an expert. If you are a diabetic, I want you to become an expert in diabetes. Learn about it, read about it. Know what foods are good, what foods are bad for you. You can be the best doctor you have. Anita, you must press upon all your viewers that the best doctor you have is you. Take charge of your body.
Yes, and the best way to do this is through your food. You've just made that so clear. You know, that's really true. The Blue Zone, there's a whole new book and a whole new, I guess it's all over now. There are 5 major countries that the elders are into Blue Zone. They call it the Blue Zone country. And what they do is they eat lots of beans. They eat everything natural, and they live into their 80s, 90s, and 100. And that's just what you were saying. So food really is the key. Now, your doctors are very good at this, aren't they? So when someone goes there, your doctors are going to help them. They're not just going to say, okay, here's your, just go ahead and go. They're going to work with them, aren't they?
Yes. This is the beauty of the mission of our offices, is to make the patient learn and believe and adopt the attitude that they are captain of the ship and they own the ship. The doctors and the medical help is like a navigator. You bring one aboard to help you, but you are the boss. Take charge of your health. So if any treatment, any disease, any modality, we have to convince the patient to understand and to adopt, because this is the greatest success in medicine, where a patient owns the treatment, becomes part and parcel of the treatment himself or herself. You know, most of the time doctors prescribe and patients don't take them because they didn't believe, they did not understand why it is important. So it's very important for doctors to spend time and make our patients understand the significance of a particular disease and the options, all the options. Surgeries is not always the best option. Medicine is not always the best option. And like you said, food is your best medicine, but you know what you have to choose right and to do the right thing. And you could conquer multiple diseases just by your diet. And you're so right.
You know, my mother lived to be 94, her mother 95, and they were from Hungary. And my mother was always eating natural. And when margarine came in and her sister starting to eat that, she said, no, eat butter and eat oatmeal and eat those kinds of things. And they didn't do that. They did live a long time too. I guess their genes were very good, but I learned from my mother a lot. And it is eating fresh fruit, vegetables, because even though the fresh fruit has sugar, it's a different kind of a sugar, isn't it?
You see, people unfortunately look at sugar, anything sweet like that, naturally as bad for you. That's not right, because these sugars are fructose and they are combined with fiber and the other elements and all the benefits. Like, for example, your berries, you're the best gift to mankind. All the berries, strawberries, blueberries, raspberries, blackberries.
Amazing.
These are great gifts. Please have them. Okay, oranges. Now, I don't want you to take 10 oranges because that's a lot of sugar. But if you eat in moderation and have a wide variety, you have done yourself a favor.
Yes. And we've just run out of time because I never have enough time with you. I'm so appreciative of your coming on, because just know that when people watch you, there'll be a certain amount of people who will believe you, who will do what you ask and what you suggest. And you are saving people's lives. And I appreciate it so much, Dr. Jaffer. And I really do thank you for everything that you've done for us and for society, really.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And we'll talk again.
Stay well.
Okay, bye, everybody.